If you want to be a part of the conversation before it happens here on YouTube, click that link in the description to join the free Courtside Financial Discord. What's going on, everyone? My name's Obi, and welcome back to the Courtside Financial Podcast, the podcast where we talk about business and technology. Today we've got a lot of interesting stories to cover. We're going to be talking about a potential Sputnik AI moment. We're going to be talking about Elon Musk's latest government adventures, and then a deep dive into the music business's biggest night. So it's going to be super insightful. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, click the like button, click the notification bell icon, leave a comment down below. All your engagement really does go a long way in helping out the channel, helping us to continue to produce content and get it out to a broader audience. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode of the Courtside Financial Podcast. Let's dive right into the biggest tech story of the week, DeepSeek. Now, for those who haven't been following this, DeepSeek has basically dropped a bomb on the AI industry. We're talking about a Chinese AI company that claims to have built an AI model comparable to OpenAI's latest model for just 5.5 million US dollars. To put that into context, OpenAI spent a reported 100 million on GPT-4. And so the market's reaction has been, well, let's call it dramatic. Nvidia, the company that can't make AI chips fast enough, witnessed their market value drop by 590 billion on Monday. That's not a typo, folks. We're talking about more than $500 billion. Then it bounced back by 260 on Tuesday and then down another 160 on Wednesday. So there's definitely some volatility going on in the AI space right now, but here's where things get interesting. There's some serious questions about how DeepSeek achieved this. OpenAI is claiming that DeepSeek might have used their models for training, which violates OpenAI's terms of service. The White House AI advisor David Sachs went on Fox News saying that there's strong evidence that DeepSeek used something called distillation, basically having a smaller model learn from a bigger one. Now, speaking of Elon Musk, and when aren't we talking about Musk these days, he's making completely different waves in a different industry. He's been put in charge of downsizing the federal workforce, and let's just say that he's bringing his X management style to the federal government. His team installed sofa beds at the Office of Federal Personnel Management, locked career civil servants out of computer systems, and they're basically running the place like a startup. This is actually pretty concerning from a security standpoint. We're talking about systems that contain the personal data of millions of federal employees, social security numbers, phone numbers, home addresses, you name it. And now there's essentially no oversight in regards to who has access to this information. Let me pivot to something that affects our NIO bulls out there. And you know that I'm one of them, even though I always try to stay objective. NIO announced some pretty aggressive financing moves. They're offering a 5-year, 0% interest financing program with just a 20% down payment. That's following Tesla's playbook, who's been running a similar program in China since April 2024. But NIO's not stopping there. They're throwing in 20,000 kilometers of free battery swaps, and that's up from their previous offer of just 20 free battery swaps. They're also continuing to offer 5 years of free access to NLP plus their autonomous driving system. When you do the math, we're talking about savings of about 30,000 yuan, that's about 4,300 US dollars at the current exchange rate. Now let's talk about something that might seem a bit off for our usual market coverage, but trust me, there's some business intersection here. The Grammy Awards are coming up this Sunday. That's tomorrow. And we're seeing what might be one of the most interesting face-offs in the music business right now, Beyoncé versus Taylor Swift. Let's break down the numbers here because they're actually pretty staggering. Beyonce's Cowboy Carter has 11 nominations, which could make it the most awarded album in Grammy history. The current record is held by Santana's Supernatural with 9 trophies back in 2000. But here's where it gets interesting from a business perspective. Despite being one of the most decorated artists in the history of the music business, Beyoncé has never won Album of the Year Grammy. Her husband Jay-Z actually called this out at last year's ceremony, pointing out that by the Recording Academy's own metrics, something doesn't add up. On the other side of this, we've got Taylor Swift. If she wins Album of the Year for the Tortured Poets department, it would be her 5th win in that category, more than any other artist in Grammy history. We're talking about an artist who's not just breaking records musically, but consistently proving that the traditional album format isn't dead, despite what streaming numbers might suggest. Here's why it matters from a market perspective. The music industry is one of the few industries that have successfully navigated digital transformation. Think about it, they went from fighting streaming to embracing it, from seeing tours as album promotions to making tours the main revenue driver. The Grammys themselves are a perfect example of this evolution. Speaking of evolution, this year's ceremony is making some major changes in response to the California wildfires. They've canceled all pre and post show parties. We're talking about millions in catering, venue rentals, and entertainment contracts just gone. But instead of taking the hit, they're redirecting all that money into relief efforts. The Recording Academy and Music Cares have already pledged $3.2 million in emergency aid to assist professionals affected by the fires. Let's talk about the voting process for a second, because it's pretty fascinating from a governance perspective. You've got 13,000 industry professionals voting on these awards. These are people who pay $150 annual dues and have proven that they're working in the music industry. It's kind of like a shareholders meeting, but for music. And get this, the Beatles are even nominated this year. Yes, those Beatles. They're up for Record of the Year with Now and Then, which used AI to clean up old John Lennon recordings. This is particularly interesting to me given the ongoing debate about AI in creative industries. The Recording Academy's rules clearly state that only human creators can win Grammys, and that the human authorship of work created must be meaningful. This could set a huge precedent for how we treat AI created works going forward. And of course, the performance lineup this year is stacked. We've got artists like Billie Eilish, Stevie Wonder, Sabrina Carpenter. From a business perspective, these performances make or break an artist's streaming numbers. Last year's performers saw an average 75% increase in streams the following week. That's why record labels fight so hard to get their artists to be able to perform in those slots. This all ties back to our earlier stories about technological disruption and market adaptation. Whether we're talking about DeepSeek challenging the whole AI industry, NIO's strategies in China, or the music industry navigating natural disasters and AI disruption, it's all about how industries evolve and adapt. That's all I've got for today, but what do you guys think about this? Are you worried about DeepSeek? Do you think that they're doing things unethically? Do you think NIO's incentives are going to help them to compete with Tesla? And who are you betting on for Album of the Year at the Grammys that are going to be coming on TV tomorrow? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, hit the notification bell icon, and share the video. We'll catch you in the next episode of the Courtside Financial Podcast. Thanks for watching. This is Obi signing off. Goodbye.